And not only the price suppression here of gold and silver continue to play out despite hitting record highs. And we again, this is nothing. Isn't even the opening salvos as to where we're eventually going. But I believe we're going to see a Dow gold ratio of 1-to-1, meaning $8,000 gold at a minimum. It could be more than that, and an 8,000 Dow, and then we could potentially get a 10-to-1 gold silver ratio. So we're talking about $800. So if we get about 80, I mean, we could all, I think this is, that's going to happen. There's no doubt about it. Then 140, then 260, then, I mean, there's no doubt. The system is unraveling.
Meet the Robin Hood of Wall Street, the fearless and outspoken Gregory Mannarino, a former Wall Street insider turned truth-teller who exposes market manipulation and empowers everyday investors. He has consistently emphasized the ongoing price suppression of gold and silver, even as both metals hit record highs. He predicts a future gold-to-silver ratio of 10-to-1, which could send silver soaring to $800 per ounce, a level that reflects silver's true, long-suppressed value in a system he believes is nearing collapse. In April, the gold-to-silver ratio surged past 100-to-1, aligning with Mannarino's warning of silver's undervaluation. This rare event, seen only a few times in history, peaked at 104. By mid-July, the ratio had dropped below 90, a meaningful shift for silver. On April 21st, silver was around $32.68 per ounce. Now it's near $38, reflecting a 16.3% gain in just 3 months. Gregory Mannarino's warnings about financial collapse are becoming reality as central banks, especially in the U.S., continue to debase currencies. With inflation rising and public trust fading, gold, silver, and cryptocurrencies are gaining traction. However, silver's true value remains suppressed due to manipulation in paper markets. Supporting Mannarino's view, the World Gold Council's 2025 survey shows 43% of central banks plan to buy more gold, and 95% feel secure with their current reserves for at least a year. As institutions turn to real assets, gold is rising, and silver may soon follow, once its artificial price ceiling breaks. Before we dive into the video, make sure to like and share it. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update.
Silver's the place to be. It's my favorite asset of all time. There's no doubt about it. Everyone knows it. I've been talking about it for over 10 years. We haven't seen anything with regard to the price action of silver based in any currency right now, as far as I'm concerned. Again, look, how I imagine this here is, okay, we understand what's happening all over the world. We have central banks have gone wild. They're not going to stop, especially here in the United States. We've never seen anything like this in the history of this nation. We're going to see currency debasement, devaluation on an epic scale, more so than we can imagine here moving forward here. The United States is it's done, and that's a real reason, or one of the real reasons why we're seeing the price action of precious metals rise along with Bitcoin cryptos as well. The world is realizing that the United States is in a lot of trouble, and we're starting to see metals wake up. But the deal is, it's the climax. I call it the climax. The climax here. They don't trade in real assets. Obviously, this is it's a paper derivatives market, leveraged to the beyond your eyeballs. They don't trade in real assets. Most people have no idea. But that's really what's going on. Until that rigging stops, unfortunately, we're going to see the price of gold and silver remains somewhat shackled. You see, and not only the price suppression here of gold and silver continue to play out despite hitting record highs. And we again, this is nothing. This isn't even the opening salvos as to where we're eventually going. But I believe we're going to see a Dow gold ratio of 1-to-1, meaning $8,000 gold at a minimum. It could be more than that, and an 8,000 Dow, and then we could potentially get a 10-to-1 gold silver ratio. So we're talking about $800. So if we get about 80, I mean, we could all, I think this is, that's going to happen. There's no doubt about it. Then 140, then there's no doubt in my mind whatsoever that silver is going to outperform on the grandest of scales. Yeah. You also have to understand that people who are used to it is the silver is volatile. It's much more, gold very stable. Silver trading price action is it's volatile. So that scares people a lot of times. You see some pretty profound, when you got the Crimex here dumping paper contracts onto the market, you can see some pretty substantial drops in both gold and silver. But silver is always the one that I think rattles people. But in my perspective, and from everything I look at for as far back as you want to go, I've never ever once swayed from saying that I believe that silver is the most undervalued asset. And I think people should load up on it. Load, 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 load. At least, these are escape hatches from the financial Armageddon that we're in. I mean, people ask, where is it? It's everywhere. People can't survive. Middle class wipe out small business here in the United States can't survive. You got President Trump here doesn't know which way he's going one day or the other. Again with this whole taco trade thing, something I said wouldn't happen, it actually did again. I can't believe it today with China, with the whole chip sector now getting goosed. You can't make this stuff up, but this is what's happening here in I don't know what it's like about you guys, but I can tell you here, it's like nothing we've ever seen ever before. And the United States, and this is a big reason why we're seeing the price action we're seeing with the gold and silver. And even I would say as far as commodities overall, what happened to copper recently with Trump's tariffs here in the United States, we're paying 50% tariffs on that. And this is going to, this is massively negative for the economy here. The consumers are already in so much trouble. Our industry is dying. And this is why people are looking to, the dollar is no longer a safe haven anymore. I mean, what happened to U.S. debt? We just lost our AAA rating here. You have our U.S. Treasury Secretary Bessent, the peddler of U.S. debt, blowing it off.
Gregory Mannarino bluntly criticizes the deliberate destruction of the U.S. dollar, noting it has lost 94% of its purchasing power over the last century. With sharp sarcasm, he mocks the idea that if it drops another 2%, leaving just 4% of its value, global demand for American products will somehow revive U.S. economic dominance, a belief he calls absurd. The decline in the dollar's value has been a long-term trend. Since the 1970s, it has lost about 95% of its purchasing power, largely due to persistent inflation and reckless monetary policy. Inflation spiked to 8% in 2022, hitting consumers hard. While recent reports claim inflation is now down to around 2.7%, Mannarino argues the true rate is closer to 15 to 20%, and it's not going away. He believes the idea that governments will restore purchasing power is a fantasy meant to keep the public docile. Supporting his claims, the latest CPI data shows inflation ticking up, with a 2.7% rise in June, up from 2.4% and the highest since February. Monthly inflation also hit 0.3%, the biggest jump since January. While CPI tracks average consumer prices, Mannarino sees it as a manipulated metric that masks the true cost of living and the deeper decline of the financial system. Let's back to the interview.
People have been hearing these for years and they don't take any action. I've been telling people for over 10 years to, of course, as we've heard from other people who also understand, to bet against the debt. Become your own central bank. Do what they do, not what they say. They don't want you, any of us, in an alternative to what they are forcing us to work for. I mean, people don't even understand the basic premise of how the system works. That is, okay, wherever you live in the world, you go out to work every day, and all you do is work for the privilege to borrow that currency into existence. And then you don't even own it. It's owned by the issuing central bank, plus interest they create out of nothing. That's why they don't pay us in gold and or silver, because these would make us sovereign. Say, we can't be sovereign. We must be slaves to the system. That's all they want out of us. Compliant slaves that they can yank the chain wherever they want to. But absolutely, look, the central banks are doing this. Why we're hearing from the president of the United States and his cohort on this article, Damian Thorne, that we need a weaker dollar. The dollar's already lost 94% of its purchasing power. And then the people here, like maybe you guys don't even know, maybe you do. The people here in the United States have been so dumbed down that they believe that they're told by the sitting president that if we kill your dollar more, if we make it harder for you, that all of a sudden the world is going to want our products. Let's say the dollar has 4% of its purchasing power. Let us just take another 2. Then all of a sudden the world is going to want U.S. products, and we're going to become champagne. And they realize that. They understand that, and they don't give a damn. I don't care where you live. It's the same kind of situation wherever you want to go. What do we have here? We have multi-billionaires trying to, first of all, we have a guy here, our president, who couldn't even run a casino. 3 of his casinos failed because he's such a great businessman. He's not a businessman, Donald Trump, okay? He earned his money because he invested in real estate. That's really it. Okay, he's not a businessman at all whatsoever. Couldn't run a casino. They should tell people something. But it's the same with world leaders everywhere. They don't care. They suck the system dry. They suck us all dry. They don't relate to us. We're nothing. We are nothing. We are a means to an end, and that's all. Look. The elites here, the people that run the central banks, the people you were just talking about, they realize that the system is dying. They don't want you in gold. They don't want you in silver. They want to keep you in their slave system, period, the freaking end here. That is why they are collectively taking whatever they can get right now out of a system that is being erased right out of the economy, right out of the middle class, wherever you live around the world here. I mean, this is not what's happening here. 15, 20%, that's really where inflation is at. And it's not going to stop. Do we believe, anyone sitting here, us 3 included, and anyone listening, that wherever you live in the world, your government is just going to all of a sudden return purchasing power to the currency, restore purchasing power to the consumer, or are they going to sit here and dissolve it further? This is how, look, man, this is the first sign of a collapsing global economy. You go back and look at history, goes far back as you want to go. They all do the same thing. They start to vastly inflate, fake the data, and then tell everyone everything is fine, of course, until it isn't, until people finally wake up and then it's too late for everyone. But again, no, I don't think anyone's buying it. Maybe there are some, but even people that I talk to who are completely disconnected and they have no idea, they go, well, these numbers, they're not right. Doesn't make sense to me. Of course it doesn't, because it's all propaganda. And I don't, especially here, we got our inflation numbers just today. No one expected it to tick up, and it's only at 2.7% highest in the last X amount of months, and people just believe it's going to get better. There's no way. I want people to just research what I'm about to say. In times without even having a gold standard, okay? In times of higher rates, we have our president here talking about lower rates. We need lower rates. We need lower rates here. That's not what brings back prosperity. What brings back prosperity is higher rates. And again, in economics and finance, what do we know? We know that to have a strong economy, you need a strong currency. To have a strong currency would be great if we had a gold-backed currency. You're not going to get it, because that would, again, return power to the people instead of the bankers. So what they would do, if we raised rates here, purchasing power would increase and people would thrive. But that can't happen. We have to be dissolved. The people must be erased. They must be told a tale. I've worked X amount of years. I've built this up. Who's going to take away our gold and our silver? Nobody. It's ours. The stuff that you believe you have in the bank, that's not even in there. It's all digits on a screen. It's fake. It doesn't exist. It's fairy dust. It's not on the elemental chart. Unlike gold and silver. These are on the elemental chart, everyone. Wake up. You see where I could go with this, right?
In today's world, where governments keep printing money and inflation quietly eats away our savings, gold and silver continue to shine as true stores of value. Gregory Mannarino has been ringing the alarm bells for years, warning that central banks are steering us toward a controlled financial collapse. And why? Because they don't want everyday people holding real assets like gold and silver. These metals give us a way to protect our wealth outside their broken, debt-based system. Silver, especially, has been held back for too long, but momentum is building. Mannarino even sees silver shooting up to $800 an ounce as the gold-to-silver ratio begins to correct. Gold and silver aren't just investments, they're quiet acts of self-defense. While we're told inflation is under control, prices keep climbing, and faith in paper money keeps slipping. More people are waking up and stacking real assets. Because when the reset comes, and it will, those holding gold and silver won't just survive, they will thrive. What's your take? Do you think gold and silver are the future? Let us know in the comments. If this video helped you, give it a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you stay updated. Thanks for watching.